January 29th, 1945, 2:47 p.m., Holtzheim, Belgium. Winter has frozen everything solid. The snow is packed hard by boots, stained dark in places where men have already fallen. The war in Europe is almost over, but the killing hasn't slowed down yet. If anything, it has become more desperate, more violent, more personal. First Sergeant Leonard Funk walks around the corner of a farmhouse and stops. 90 German soldiers are staring directly at him. Some are holding rifles. Some are grabbing weapons from a pile on the ground. 4 American soldiers are kneeling in the snow, hands locked behind their heads. These Germans were prisoners 20 minutes ago. Now they are armed. Now they are organized. Now they are preparing to attack Funk's company from the rear. A German officer steps forward. He shoves an MP-40 submachine gun into Funk's stomach so hard it dents the fabric of his jacket. The officer is screaming in German. Funk doesn't understand a single word. The officer screams louder. His face turns red with rage. Spit flies from his mouth. Leonard Funk looks at the gun, looks at his captured men. Look at the 90 enemy soldiers. And then, in a moment that makes absolutely no sense, he starts laughing. What happens next will take less than 60 seconds. 21 German soldiers will die. The rest will surrender. And Leonard Funk will earn the Medal of Honor for one of the most unbelievable acts of combat in World War II. All because he couldn't stop laughing. WWII Leonard Funk really was Leonard Alfred Funk. Jr. was born on August 27, 1916, in Braddock Township, Pennsylvania. This wasn't a place of comfort or opportunity. Braddock was a steel town. SS smokestacks filled the sky. Foundries lined the Monongahela River. The air smelled of coal, sweat, and iron. Life was hard, and it made people hard in return. Funk grew up fast. By the time he finished high school in 1934, he was already carrying adult responsibilities. He helped raise his younger brother. He worked. He didn't dream much because dreams didn't pay rent. The Great Depression was tearing the country apart. Jobs were rare. College was impossible. Survival came first. Then came 1941. War was already raging across Europe and Asia. America tried to stay out of it, but the world was closing in. Congress expanded the draft. Leonard Funk's number came up. At 24 years old, standing 5'5" tall and weighing barely 140 pounds, Funk reported to the induction center in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. The Army physical examiner probably looked at him and saw a clerk. Paperwork, supply, desk duty. They were wrong. Leonard Funk volunteered for the paratroopers. Becoming airborne. The men who jumped first. In 1941, American airborne forces barely existed. Jumping out of airplanes behind enemy lines sounded insane to most soldiers. It meant landing surrounded, cut off, and outgunned. Only a certain type of man volunteered. Airborne training was designed to break you. 5 weeks of brutal physical punishment, endless running, jump towers, climbing, falling, carrying heavy loads until your muscles screamed. Nearly half the volunteers washed out. Then came the aircraft. The first time you step out of a C-47 at 1,200 feet, your instincts fight you. Everything in your body tells you to grab the doorframe and hold on. The wind tears at your face. The ground looks impossibly far away. Your parachute is nothing but fabric, cords, and faith. Leonard Funk earned his jump wings. He was assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. By late 1943, they shipped to England and joined the legendary 82nd Airborne Division. These men were veterans. Sicily, Italy, combat jumps, death. Funk was the new guy. At 27, he was considered old by airborne standards. But what he lacked in youth, he made up for in something far more important. Calm, steadiness, quiet confidence. Men trusted him. By D-Day, Leonard Funk was already a squad leader. D-Day dropped into hell June 6, 1944, 1:30 a.m. The C-47 shakes violently as German anti-aircraft fire explodes around it. Funk stands in the jump line with 60 pounds of equipment strapped to his body. Thompson's submachine gun, ammunition, grenades, medical kit. The aircraft is flying too low, only 400 feet. But the pilots can't climb. The sky is full of fire. The green light comes on. Funk jumps. The prop blast slams into him. Then the chute opens and the world goes quiet. Below him is occupied France. The airborne invasion is chaos. Paratroopers are scattered across miles of countryside. Some land in flooded fields and drown. Others drop directly into German positions and are killed before they can even cut themselves free. Funk hits the ground hard. His ankle twists violently. The pain is immediate, possibly fractured, but he can walk, so he moves. For 10 days, Leonard Funk leads a group of lost paratroopers, men from different units, different regiments, through enemy-held territory. He insists on walking point, despite his injury. They travel by night, hide by day, fight when forced. Every single man survives, 40 miles behind enemy lines. Not one casualty. Holland, attacking the impossible. September 1944, Operation Market Garden, the largest airborne assault in history. The plan is bold, maybe too bold. Funk doesn't know the strategic picture. He only knows his orders. Then he sees something wrong. 3 German 20mm anti-aircraft guns are firing at incoming Allied gliders. If they keep firing, hundreds of men will die before touching the ground. The gun position is fortified. 20 German soldiers, high ground. Funk has 3 men. Doctrine says you need 3 times the attackers. Funk attacks anyway. In a violent, fast assault, Funk and his patrol destroy the gun positions, killing or driving off the defenders. 3 Americans against 20 Germans. The gliders land safely. For this, Leonard Funk earns the Distinguished Service Cross. He still isn't done. The Bulge, When Rules Die. December 1944. The Germans launch one last massive offensive. The Ardennes forest, snow, ice, brutal cold. Then comes Malmedy. 84 American prisoners are murdered in a field after surrendering. When Funk hears about it, something inside him changes. From that moment on, Leonard Funk decides he will never surrender. Holzheim, the laugh that killed 21 men, January 29, 1945. Company C is under strength. Funk pulls clerks, cooks, and supply men into a makeshift platoon. They march 15 miles through deep snow. They attack Holzheim. They take the village. 80 German prisoners are captured. Only 4 Americans are left to guard them. And then the Germans strike back. When Funk returns to check on the prisoners, he walks straight into 90 armed enemy soldiers. A gun is shoved into his stomach. The officer screams, and Leonard Funk laughs. Not a fake chuckle, a real, uncontrollable laugh. It confuses everyone. And in that confusion, Funk moves. He swings his Thompson down and fires. At point-blank range. The officer dies instantly. Funk keeps firing. His men grab weapons. Chaos erupts. In less than 1 minute, 21 Germans are dead. The rest surrender. Leonard Funk stands alive in a place where survival was impossible. Aftermath, a quiet hero. September 5, 1945. President Harry Truman places the Medal of Honor around Funk's neck. "I would rather have this medal," Truman says, "than be President of the United States." After the war, Funk goes home. No book, no fame, no speeches. He works for the Veterans Administration for 27 years. Helps other soldiers, quietly. Leonard Funk dies in 1992. Most people never hear his name, but his story remains. Because courage isn't about size. It's about what you do when there's a gun in your stomach. And 90 men want you dead. Stories like Leonard Funk's don't get told often enough. Not because they aren't powerful, but because true courage is usually quiet. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't ask to be remembered. If you believe stories like this matter, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more real human war documentaries. And comment below, should more forgotten heroes like Leonard Funk be remembered? Because history only survives if we keep telling it.